Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. So when you're ready.
We're good. We're on. We're live.
Cool. We're back for another episode of the Faceless Men podcast.
2 months
Episode 42, 43. I want to say 43. I'll say 43. I'm one third of your host, Samson.
I'm a third, JP.
And I'm the final third, Niall.
And we have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Leanne. I'm going to be in the conversation today.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting conversation.
This soundboard today.
Say that again?
We've got the soundboard.
No, I haven't got I've got a soundboard, but it's not loaded. So this conversation today that we're talking about is about relationships. It was only sparked up because of what happened to Leanne was it last week or a few weeks ago?
It was last week, couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and she was really desperate to get a guy's perspective on it. So I figured, why not bring it to the podcast?
You know, this is a safe space. You know, it's just us four and the world.
It is. We may laugh at you. We may laugh and tell jokes, but it's all in good nature.
Yeah,
I'm hoping you guys can right the wrongs and provide some answers because
we hope to do so. We hope to do so. Okay. So would you like to start then with what is that happened to you?
Okay, I'll give you a bit of background information. I've been shielding since before the corona outbreak. Like I was one of the early ones that had their tissue, had their bits and pieces, and I was in the house board. So what's that, like 5 months now? So I'm like, you know what? I'm a little bit bored. I'm going to jump on the old Tinder. Because everyone's like, oh, go on there. And I come off maybe 2 years ago because I couldn't understand why people were sending me such messages. So after I've gone through every picture, took out any kind of cleavage, any kind of bikini. So I couldn't understand the chat. Like, what is it about me while we're saying these things? So anyway, I said, you know what? Let's start fresh, innit? Like, we're in a corona. We're going to do nice bio. We're going to put nice pics up. Let's do it. Set it live within maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, swipe. Because it feels like a game show, doesn't it? So when you match, you're like, woohoo.
I've never actually experienced Tinder, so I'm not too sure.
You should just do it for the fun. Like, you feel like you're on The Price is Right. And you're like, I don't even like you, but I just was just matching for the sake of it. And this is, this is about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, getting ready for, my working from home, jumping in the shower. And I thought, got a message. And he seemed like he was nice. His name is Bleep. And I work with kids and I live in Walthamstow. What about you? So I'm like, okay, my name's Leanne. I live in Bleep. How are you? And I think there was like one more message. And it was like, can I have your WhatsApp? So I'm like, oh, I don't want to give you my WhatsApp. Because once you got my number, you got my number. Like,
yeah, that's
so I'm
true.
like, okay, I've got to think of like a way. Don't want to make you feel bad. I want to continue the conversation. I just don't want to give you my number. I didn't even send a message. Because the next thing was, what was it? I should bring it up on my phone. It was basically like, let's not waste each other's time. If you're not into rough sex, I'm not going to be interested.
What? Now, you messages on the Tinder thing.
And I'm like, I ain't had a cup of tea yet. I ain't even brushed my teeth yet. It's too early. Is this what we do nowadays? I don't know. We're escalating things for corona. I ain't got nothing better to do. Like, I can't understand why he's in a hurry.
Then
I'm like, rough sex is different to everyone. So are we talking like extreme? Like, I didn't know what to say. So I'm like,
Okay, but have you responded back since, or have you just like ignored it?
I think I was like, thanks for letting me know. And then he was like, oh, does that mean you're not into it? And I was like, yes, sir. I'm not, like, and we seem to have unmatched now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Okay. That's good. At least you know you both
are okay.
Incompatible.
Damn.
I don't know, because he could have said to me like, what's your hobby? And I could have said colouring in, and that would have been it done. Like, it was literally 3 lines of conversation.
Okay. So what is it that you want help? or do you want to understand from a guy's perspective? Is that okay to ask?
Is that normal?
What, to ask that quick?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Pierre. What would you say?
Pierre, you want to go first or now?
okay.
No. We said Pierre first, mate.
Well, personally, I don't think that will come up in a conversation that soon for me anyway. Maybe a couple combos down the line where it's like the mood been set for that. I'm not gonna go out and then say, "Hey, how you doing? By the way, I like rough sex. And if you don't like that, well, fuck you." Like, no, I wouldn't say that early. I know some people that would.
Who are you pointing at? Who are you pointing
Not
at?
Sam.
I mean,
It's not me.
It's gotta be you, mate.
Leanne, only one
I
of
can
us.
imagine it's coming out your I am Samson Bleak. I like blah.
No. Only one of us. Only one of us in this group is on Tinder, and it's not me and it's not Pierre.
I know, but you got the confidence to deliver it face to face in person.
No. Okay.
I believe you can do it.
So since you're deflecting now, what I will say is asking that early. I can only assume it's because he's been locked down for a few months. The frustration's got to him. He just wants to kind of not waste his time or waste your time. He wants you to know from the jump what he's about.
This is how.
So after early, I think it's a bit. I mean, you've barely gotten to know someone, so just dropping out there like that is a bit weird.
And can I just say again, it was like 7:30 in the morning.
What, when he messaged you or when you saw it?
When he messaged me like this.
Okay, yeah, no, see, that's weird.
What day ain't even done yet? Like.
Yeah, that is weird. That's too early.
Owners will make people do crazy things at 7:30 in the morning.
I'm gonna fully agree with Pierre on that. Power bonus have no time limit.
But
okay, now someone is on Tinder then. What would you do in that situation, or would you? Like, what would you do?
To be honest, if it's me, it depends. It's like depending on how randy I am, depends on what's gonna come out my mouth. That's or what I'm gonna type through the message. To be honest. But most of the time, it's I try to get like some sort of flowing chemistry. I try to do like something that's a little bit flirty or sexual in the conversation, see if the person's receptive to it. If they are, then we can see where this goes. If they're not, have a little more talk to find out more about the person, and then see if it can go any further.
Yeah,
that's me.
Okay, then. But then, do you think it's right? Because I think one of you said it a few weeks ago that if you were in a situation where you have a sexual preference, like your not say fetish, but your sexual.
I think sexual preference is strong enough.
But would you put that out so early now, when you've just met someone? Or
now, I'm going to say for myself, it fully depends on how hungry I am at that time. So, no, that's the truth of it. Yeah, I'll be honest.
Honest.
If I'm like really hungry, then I'm like, hey, how you doing? Blah 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 blah. And like find out if we got like some sort of like sexual thing that we can both talk about. Once that's going, it's like, okay, cool. So what do you like? Da 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 da. And just find out, like, see how it just flows and just whatever comes out. Sometimes I'll be incredibly straightforward, and other times I'll try to subtly drop it in. So no, you got to find out.
So the next thing so bang. So what? You like anal?
Wait, say that again.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I think the only time that anals actually come up early in the same day, or in fact the first 2 hours of conversation, is when a girl brought it up. I don't actually bring that shit up. But like, no. I know some girls move wild, and a lot of men apparently move super crazy on Tinder. So
for like what, maybe 5 years. Like, so well, I don't know what etiquette on it is now.
I'll honestly say each person's got their own thing, man. Bare people come with their own agenda. So if you're both on the same wavelength, it's good. If you're on two different agendas, then it's not really going to work unless you both equally get hungry at the same time, or otherwise you both decide you don't like each other.
I've heard from a lot of my female friends though, like a lot of dudes on Tinder do move mad. Like are people that hungry on there, Leanne?
Listen, I've had people, and again, this is back in the day, I've had people like, we're going to consent, where do you live? I'm coming to your house. I'm like, why are you not?
I haven't tried that one yet.
Not a guy.
I've never tried that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how have you found online dating? Is it online dating? Yeah, how have you found online dating during this sort of the last few months during lockdown, Leanne, and now?
That was my one experience since lockdown.
Okay.
And it's kind of
just the one.
Yeah, because I came off and I was like literally just bored, and I was like up really early. So I was like, I literally done the account in like a half an hour, had the message like within 10 minutes of it going live. So I'm like, oh, is this what they do now?
Mm.
But I prefer to like meet people, have banter, that type of thing. I feel like online don't really, like, I can get messages and stuff like that, but I just always do it.
I fully agree. I think online doesn't really give you a proper taste of their personality. Some people type completely differently to how they actually interact. So it's a little bit iffy when they interact with someone online.
Yeah, I think that's why I never really got into Tinder before. Like I couldn't fathom just meeting, just messaging someone online. I prefer to like full face-to-face contact, just like interacting and flowing. If there's chemistry, then it could just flow in person rather than just via text. Because like they can see the message and not respond for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and you just left there waiting. It's just like, okay, bullshit. You literally just left there waiting. Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me at all.
Because in that ideal world, I like the idea of the convenience of online dating. Because who's got time? Like, by the time you come home from work and whatever, sometimes it's nice just to have a little flick on the train.
That's what the weekends are for. Oh no, I can't do it on the train. On a packed train during rush hour, it's too risky.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, Samson, have you tried that yet? Chatting on the train during rush hour, trying to chat with a girl?
No.
It's
too risky.
Dude, you know I've done this, but I was gonna ask you, have you not done it yet? Or
No.
did you, Pierre, I'm so sure you've done this when you were younger.
When I was younger, probably, but I'm not gonna go do it. Like if I was single now, I wouldn't do it now because first of all,
I've done the bus, but that's the most I've done. I couldn't do the train.
Yeah,
you did it on the bus. Like, I've never done it on the bus yet. I've never chatted with a girl on the bus.
No, if the girl asks for directions and something like that, obviously maybe she's cute, or you might have done a little combo there. But I'm not gonna go up to her on the train like, hey, how you doing? You're like, where you going? Going to work? Okay, I see a briefcase there. What, can I sit next to you? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Not with lines like that. No, you can't.
I don't know about that, Pierre. That sounds super creepy. Like,
it does.
Like, hey, how you doing? Do I have to sit next to you? Like, I'd expect to know immediately. I'd just be like, you can sit over there, or she's gonna get up and walk away. Like,
you never know. Now, why do you try?
You're right. You never know when people visually like what.